One more time. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. That's a little better. Okay. We like that. We figured out during our networking time that since October, it has either been raining or snowing. So my feet are ready to sprout webs, and those of us on the East Coast are getting drenched. Those of us in the Midwest are getting flooded. And those of us in other parts of the world are nice and dry and roasty toasty, so take it for what it's worth. We have an excellent presentation this morning, and I'm very happy that Gert is here with us this morning, and we look forward to his presentation. I also want to let you make note of our sponsors. It was interesting yesterday, I was on the phone with our bank, M&T, and I said, you know, we have a whole list of sponsors here regionally. Who's missing? She says, me? And I said, uh-huh. So their check is en route, and if anyone would like to become a sponsor of these breakfast proceedings, we'd love to have you and love to discuss with you how this works and what's involved. Ralph Mitchell is our liaison locally, and he'll be happy to assist you and get you through the process. So thank you to our sponsors, thank you to our caterer, thank you to our host, Media 721, for the venue and doing what they do. So without further ado, here's our agenda this morning. From time to time, I'm asked to participate as a judge in various business plan competitions around the state. And then I gotta tell you, of all the things that we do, that's probably my favorite. We get to see, in this case, a lot of university students come up with some wonderful ideas and wonderful business plans and concepts and innovations and intellectual properties that give us great hope for the future. And recently, I was judging the New York State Business Plan Competition, which was held up at the Nanotech Center, University at Albany. And there were 23 teams that presented. Now, that number is only significant because when the call for entries went out, we received over 150 entries, and we had to pare that down to 23 final teams to compete. And that was a very, very, very tough choice. Now, this was a university-based competition. The universities involved were from Cornell, Columbia, Albany, Cortland, RPI. There were another half a dozen schools involved. So this was truly a statewide effort. And it was an all-day affair. I think, Jim, you were also a judge there as well. And, you know, some of the highlights, I just, you know, wanted to run past you a little bit and a little bit. One group was involved in healthcare. Another was involved in green tech and sustainability, services, and then highly technical nanotech technologies. And each one had some real stars and some that were perhaps a little earlier stage, which will be back. And the winner of the competition was a group from Syracuse University called Helios. They were invited here this morning, but unfortunately they had finals today. So they may come next month and present their technology, which was a sterilization technology that will replace autoclave in dentist's office, doctor's office, hospitals, et cetera, using a light-emitting source as opposed to an autoclave technology. But if any of you ever have an opportunity or want to be involved or considered as judges in some of these competitions, let us know, and we might be able to get you hooked up with the with the groups that are hosting these events. It is one of the most worthwhile things you'll probably ever do. I think this was your first one. Is that, Jim? Did you enjoy it? It was stunning. It's really an interesting way to go. In this particular event, and for the first time that I can remember in a long time, there were significant cash awards that were delivered to the winners. The winner of each category received $10,000 cash for finishing in first place. The overall winner of the competition received an additional $40,000. Now, why is that significant? Well, if you're a competitor, that really raises the stakes, so to speak. But one of the things that we have been trying to do here in the Hudson Valley for a long time is a business plan competition. And we would love some input from you, our web audience, and whomever you think might be appropriate, our economic development folks, our chamber folks, to help organize and stimulate a truly meaningful and worthwhile business plan competition, which we would love to host. I am very jealous of locales around the state where I do judging. I've been in New York City several times for judging. I've been in Long Island. I've been in Syracuse. I've been in Utica, Albany, to judge business plan competitions everywhere but where we live. And I think that would be a wonderful thing to do. Melinda? It's a small, it is really, it's a small competition that's...
But it's only by they use local, they'll use businesses and international, yes.
Right. We're trying to do a more broad regional type of thing where we can show off our best and brightest. And Melinda, I think it's a great idea, and we're meeting with the New Paltz folks next week to explore one of those questions as well. Second thing is that we had our first test run of a program which we introduced here a couple of months ago called Compass, which John Mallon ran for early stage and small business companies to do business analyses on themselves. It was a therapy session for small companies, and I think it was very, very well received. And there'll be some new information coming out about that as well, which I would encourage you all to look at and consider either sponsoring and or participating in. So we'll have more information coming out shortly. So there's lots going on in not only the Hudson Valley, but statewide, nationally, and internationally as well. Our chairman, Arthur Anthonison, was recently on a trip to India, and we were involved in several discussions involving entrepreneurship, academia, involving SUNY affiliation and accreditation for certain courses, which we're exploring right now. We've been very active with our friends over in Sweden and in the UK and in other parts of the world, getting involved in entrepreneurship and innovation and helping to commercialize those innovations. So if you've got some interest, if you've got some knowledge, if you've got some questions, we'd love to be part of what's going on here in the Hudson Valley and becoming more aggressive in how we approach things. I don't know if Andreas is online. Is yes? No. That would be a no. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to change things up. We're going to change the order a little bit. Andreas is teaching this morning, or this afternoon where he is. So we're going to try and hold him off until after. I'm sure all of you know that there have been some difficulties in Greece, and internet is not always something that is up and running all the time, so we do have some issues there, so I would apologize, but nothing I can apologize for.